Hello and welcome to Communicate with Power. This is probably the fifth episode. We kind of lost count somewhere of our podcast. We try to do it once or twice a week. We'd love to have you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button wherever you see it. It's free for now and worth every penny. So, in this particular episode, I'm joined, as I pretty well every time, with my partner, co founder in TLC Transformational Leadership Consultants, Laura Peck. Laura,
Hi.
welcome to this podcast and welcome to all of you. So, it's been a very busy week, wouldn't you say, Laura?
Yeah, super busy this week. And I did have, when people see me out there, that they are kind of interested in, so what do you do in the run of a week? And so this week we had a group from British Columbia come in. We had another, on Tuesday, we had another group of doctors and researchers. And then we also had another group in the broadcast world. And all of them came to us for seminars on how to appear before parliamentary committee. And Thursday was my highlight day.
Well, let's start with the highlight day. Why not? So, what happened on Thursday that made it such a highlight?
Well, I did not realize that I would be so excited to meet the Taoiseach. I didn't even know what the
The
Taoiseach
Taoiseach of
Taoiseach.
Ireland is, of course, the Prime Minister.
Okay.
They don't use that word there, of course. Uh, Micheál Martin. Hope I got that part right. You'd think that somebody born in Ireland would know how to pronounce the Irish words. Unfortunately, my parents, who could actually speak Gaelic, never really taught us kids how to speak Irish because they ended up using that to give, personal information between the two of them that we didn't know anything about. So I
Well,
grew
they
up,
did have 6 children,
yeah,
so
so something connected. I digress. So, yeah, now, why was it such a highlight, Laura?
I can just honestly say it viscerally came over me. You know me, when I get into my work, I'm really focused on it. And then we deliberately did not have a seminar on Thursday so we could free up that time. And then it just overcame me that I just got really excited about meeting the Taoiseach. And I tried to have a little bit of time to read about what this person does. Frankly, I did not. I just was not familiar enough, and I really want to thank Ambassador John Concannon and Mary, his wife, for inviting us because it really was a big deal. And so, luckily, we took some pictures and put them on Instagram.
Think we
And
can add it to this. We'll add it to this if you want.
okay,
Yeah, it's interesting because it's only the third time a Taoiseach has actually ever come to Canada since 1948 when they broke from the British Commonwealth and were of course a republic in their own right. And three times they've come, a Taoiseach has come, so it was pretty historical as well. A lot of interesting people there, of course, jammed in, all willing to when they get a photo with them, wanted a quick chat with them. So it was a lot of fun. That's for sure. Those tend to be just to balance it out. A week or so ago, we went to the British High Commissioner's residence for a reception there, and that was terrific too. They're only just next door there, pretty well. So we really did balance the scales there. Let's talk also about.
tell people where you're from in Ireland.
Well, okay. I was actually born in Northern Ireland. My mom was a Dubliner, so we kind of grew up half in Dublin and half in Northern Ireland. And essentially, I have relatives, you and I, Laura, and our kids. We've gone to Ireland a number of times and done the Round Ireland tour. Several friends I went with, the golfing tours, the Round Ireland golfing tours. So Ireland has some of the best golf courses in the world, and we particularly enjoyed playing that. I always brought one of my three kids with me on those golf rounds. I
And you
don't.
were the only one that brought
Yeah.
bring your kid to golf in
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah, I don't think they were all that played. Oh boy, bringing his kid with him. But I felt that those are such opportunities that I wanted to do, and I'm actually very glad I did it. So, I think the other thing to say is that this has been a very busy week on all kinds of fronts involving media, involving the world of politics, and so on. I guess we could wind up we did talk last time about the Jimmy Kimmel case, and he's back on the air. I actually said they probably wouldn't be back on, and the reason why I felt that way was that it looked like Disney and ABC were caught in the corner by their own affiliates, the owners of quite a number of their affiliates who refused to go on. Well, they apparently have changed their mind, and ABC went ahead with Disney, went ahead putting Kimmel back on the air. Jimmy didn't apologize, but I think he really did explain clearly and in context what it was he said, that he was not there at all to mock Charlie Kirk in any way. And he gave very tearful and genuine, I felt, comments with regard to the terrible murder of Charlie Kirk. And so, really, what's been interesting, of course, he continues now grilling and having fun at the expense of Donald Trump and the MAGA crowd over their reactions and attempted positioning of that whole terrible event. But that's the world of politics we're in today. There are these kinds of echo chambers. And in fact, we are going to be doing a seminar at the University of Ottawa, Laura, and you, me, and the Information Integrity Lab's Jennifer Irish are putting on a 2.5 day course early in October called Risk and Crisis Communications in an Age of Disinformation. And of course, you're seeing a lot of disinformation. You're seeing it everywhere. And there's always interest in how do you communicate more strategically in this kind of world we're in. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I am. Now, they do all the hardcore research at the Information Integrity Lab at University of Ottawa, but we always focus on the communication side of it. And I do say that I actually enjoy the process of doing the research, as well as we've sort of done it for many, many years, coaching people on how to clear up misinformation. And so sometimes you don't even want to bring it up again because it can be painful. But now we live in a world in which, with social media, people can make up stories about you, your organization. And so you do have to take the time to clear it up. And so we will do that in October 8, 9, 10 over at the University of Ottawa, where they have got great facilities.
Yeah, and also, this week, doing a number of radio interviews on a number of topics. I think one of them was interesting today, and maybe I'll post a link to that too. The whole topic was on Starbucks and what has happened to Starbucks, 1,000 layoffs and closing a number of their stores. And so I did talk about that with Rob Snow on Now You Know, on City News across the country, City News everywhere, as they refer to it. And one of the points I was making is that the brand of Starbucks has perhaps reached its zenith of the $6 latte, whatever it is, in a world in which people do want value. Also, there's a tremendous competition. When you have McDonald's McCafe, which has been up and running and doing very effective, selling $1 coffees, Tim Hortons in Canada, oh my gosh, there's a Timmy's everywhere. There's more Timmy's stores now than cannabis stores. Hard to believe, because cannabis would be pretty close second, at least in Ontario. I don't know what elsewhere. But I think the point there is that, people are comfortable with what they're getting there. They feel if you're going to spend a lot of money on certain kind of coffees and everything, it has to be a bit of an environment with it. A lot of them have gone to drive-throughs, click and go. You're not really getting that kind of uh, cafe perk that you saw on Friends, that kind of place that everybody knows your name and all that. No, not really. More and more, there's not that. You see people also, they tend to pick the non high brand kind of store, kind of coffee shops. They tend to like the casual, informal kind of feel of they found a cafe that they really like. There's several here like that in Ottawa, Little Victories. There's a number of those like that. Bridgehead is a small chain. They like the small chains. So the culture has shifted too. And in fairness, Starbucks, boy, has it ever hurt to shift that? They can't start selling a bunch of cheap coffees and make this work. So they still have 39,000 and plus stores around the world, and you've seen them in China and Asia, across Europe, everywhere. Starbucks is a global brand, and global brands can get in trouble too. So we'll see what happens. I'm not calling for I don't think it's going to be the end of Starbucks by any means. They are trying to, refresh their brand, trying to find different ways of connecting with their customers who are shifting, who are changing. Gen Z's have a hard enough time trying to put money together for the rent, let alone buy a home, and they're being invited to continue to pay very high dollars for a coffee. So that's a challenge for certainly for a brand like Starbucks. So that's certainly one topic. And Laura, what seems to be percolating out there that you've had to comment on, or at least people are asking about?
Well, certainly when next week, we will do another course at Carleton on how to appear before a committee. We will teach a course there starting on Monday, and we'll do that. And then next week also is Truth and Reconciliation. It's a national day. People are asked to wear orange, and we've had extensive experience working with people who have been part of that world, and so we are pretty authentic in supporting them and realizing that these are important things for us to think about.
Yeah, we did work with the Truth and Reconciliation Commission under Justice Murray Sinclair and the Murdered Missing Indigenous Women and Girls Commission of
Yes.
Inquiry several years later with the commissioners. And these are very sensitive issues. There's a long history. I often share with the Indigenous groups we work with, just recently, again, the other day, being born in Ireland has a certain kind of connectedness, interestingly enough. And I won't get into all that, but basically, when you say you're Irish, um, they tend to right away connect better. They know enough, interestingly, about Ireland's history and its struggle for uh, independence and all of that, and it creates a very good initial rapport for sure to build on. So we're going to be finding a way to commemorate that. I think that uh, generating and building understanding between founding groups such as Indigenous peoples in Canada. You see that in the United States, the efforts to do that, as well as in Australia and elsewhere. So it is a truly global uh, aspect. It's not just uniquely here in Canada. So, yes, Canada has made a lot of progress, and I think people can get sort of you can still have divides, of course. We worked with Saskatchewan and Manitoba founding treaty commissioners, helping to build bridges and understanding in those two provinces in Canada, and and directly with First Nations chiefs. So it's trying to find common ground. I'm big on common ground. I'm not big on milking uh, divisions. If you want that, you have to get somebody else. But I'm always looking for what's the common ground. Where is the win-win outcomes for self-sustaining First Nations and others? We worked in for the Nunatsiavut government of Labrador, and so it's been right across and up, of course, with the Inuit in northern Canada. So these are all very interesting, timely issues. They will not instantly go away, but I'm very hopeful that understanding, growing, closing those divides, learning from each other. I think that does go a long way, and I don't say that as any kind of moralizing lecture. I just truly believe that the common grounds there are really what will ultimately hold countries together, such as Canada. So those are just some of the subjects that we've been exploring this week. And Laura mentioned on September 30th with the National Truth and Reconciliation Day. And it requires truth and it requires reconciliation, of course. And those are very important concepts. So um, that's really, I think, the essence of what we wanted to say here. We're really like to hear from our subscribers. Tell us what is on your mind. Share with us your views. You don't have to agree with us on things. I'm not here to force, you know, uh, any kind of ideology or any kind of uh, belief system. Other than I'm big on fairness. I'm big on, and Laura, of course. We are very big on trying to find truth, common ground, healing divisions. That's what we want to do. And it doesn't mean we don't have opinions on things. We certainly do enough of our own media comments and interviews to. I don't think one should be afraid of expressing your view. We live in a world which seems to come down on people that dare to express their truly held beliefs. And I don't think that's right or fair. I don't want to see a world in which you just can't say anything. And that's part of why the Jimmy Kimmel thing I thought, boy, that was a real effort to take down somebody who you don't agree with, and twist and distort it, and everything else. I truly felt that way about that issue. I know some people disagree with me, and fair enough. I don't uh, try to hold those type of grudges or anything else. People are very much entitled to their own view, and I welcome yours. So subscribe, hit that button, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.
And for those of you who wondered about our week, there it was. And we're happy to answer any of your questions. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care.